Hello there, this is Gaurav from Gaurav Tutorials. In today's video, we will be discussing about skeletal system. The skeletal system can be divided into an axial skeleton system and an appendicular skeletal system. The topic for today would be axial skeleton. It is composed of skull, vertebral column, rib cage and sternum. It runs along the middle longitudinal axis and comprises of 80 bones. Let us first talk about the skull. The skeleton of the head is called skull. It rests on the upper end of the vertebral column, and the bony structure of the skull consists of cranial bones forming the cranium, facial bones that makes up our face, the ear ossicles which are responsible for the amplification of the sound, and the hyoid bone. Cranium, if we talk about it, is a hollow and a nearly rounded bony structure which protects the brain. It is made up of 8 cranial bones. These bones fuse together and form sutures. The bones are one frontal bone. It forms the anterior part of cranium and forms forehead. 2 parietal bones form the greater portion of the side and roof of the cranial cavity. 2 temporal bones lies at the inferior lateral side of cranium and forms part of cranial floor. 1 occipital bone at the posterior end forms the base of the cranium. A large aperture, that is foramen magnum, lies in the inferior part of the bone through which medulla oblongata connects with the spinal cord. 1 sphenoid bone at the middle part of the base of the skull and holds all the cranial bones together. It forms a saddle-like structure called sella turcica, which houses the pituitary gland. 1 ethmoid bone, which is sponge-like in appearance, located on the midline of the anterior part of cranial floor. From this, a perpendicular plate arises which forms the superior portion of nasal septum. If we talk about the ear ossicles, the middle ear has 3 bones called as ear ossicles. They help in the amplification of the sound. These bones are malleus, which is hammer shaped, incus, which is anvil shaped, and stapes, which is stirrup shaped. The facial bones constitute the front part of the skull, skeleton of lower jaw, hard palate and nose. It comprises of 14 bones. The bones are 2 nasal bones forming the bridge of the nose, 2 maxilla forming upper jaw. It articulates with every bone except mandible. 2 zygomatic bones forming prominence of the cheek. 2 lacrimal bones. These are thin bones housing lacrimal sacs. 2 palantine bones make up the posterior part of hard palate. They form the roof and lateral wall of the nasal cavity. 2 inferior nasal conchae. It forms part of inferior lateral wall of nasal cavity. Also, along with that, it clears the air that passes through the nose. 1 Vomer bone, which is triangular bone forming the inferior portion of nasal septum, and 1 mandible. It forms the lower jaw. It is the largest and the strongest facial bone that is present in us. Apart from that, we also have got hyoid bone. The fascinating fact about the hyoid bone is that it doesn't articulate with any other bone of our body. It is a U-shaped bone which lies at the base of the buccal cavity, that is, at the base of the tongue and above larynx. With tongue, it forms hyoid apparatus. We find above the hyoid, there are muscles which attach themselves to the tongue, and below it lies the larynx part. The functions of skull is to protect the brain. The jaws in the skull help in cutting and mastication. Ear bones which are present in the internal part helps in the amplification of the sound. Better hearing abilities. It also protects and supports the special sense organs like eyes and ear and nose and tongue. Vertebral column. It is also called as backbone. It lies in the mid-dorsal region of the neck and trunk. It is made up of 26 serially arranged units called as vertebrae. It extends from base of the skull and constitutes the main framework. Between two adjacent vertebrae, a disc or part of fibrous cartilage is present. It provides flexibility to vertebral column. These pads or discs are called as intervertebral disc or pad. On the basis of the position of the vertebrae, it could be classified into different types. First of them is cervical vertebrae. These are 7 in numbers and are located in the neck region. The first of the cervical bone is called as atlas and the second one is called as axis. Below it lies the thoracic vertebrae. They are 12 in numbers and larger than the cervical vertebrae. They occupy the chest region. They also contain the site for attachment of ribs. Below these lies the lumbar vertebrae. They are 5 in number. They are strongest, thickest and largest of all the other vertebral bones we saw. They are present in the abdominal region and bears the weight of the trunk. The fifth lumbar articulates with the sacrum at lumbosacral joint. Sacral vertebrae, they are 5 in numbers in the young ones, but when we develop into an adult, the number and the bones of these sacral vertebrae fuse with one another and the number is reduced to 1. They occupy the pelvic region and they fuse together to form a triangular bony structure that is called as sacrum. They are wider in female and shorter in males. The coccyx, there are 4 to 5 such bones which will form together upon joining a structure called as coccyx. It attaches to the base of the sacrum. The function of vertebral column is to protect the spinal cord, support the head and carry the weight of the body. Then we have sternum. It is a flat bone present on the ventral midline of the thorax. It forms protective covering over the internal organs of thoracic region. It provides a surface for muscles to attach and helps in respiration. It is commonly called as breastbone. It is single and consists of 3 different parts: manubrium, the body and xiphoid process. Xiphoid process provides attachment to diaphragm. Now let us discuss about ribs. Rib is a thin flat bone which is dorsally connected to the vertebral column and ventrally to the sternum. There are 12 pairs of ribs which form the lateral wall of the thoracic cage. The ribs have got 2 articulation points on the dorsal end which helps the rib to bind to both the thoracic vertebrae and the sternum. The ribs attach to the thoracic vertebrae at the dorsal end and sternum at the ventral end. Because of the presence of 2 articulation points on the dorsal side, ribs are called as bicephalic or dicephalic. There are 3 types of ribs. First, the true ribs or the vertebrosternal ribs. The first 7 pairs of ribs are called true ribs. They are dorsally attached to the thoracic vertebrae and are ventrally connected to the sternum with the help of hyaline cartilage. The second ones are called as false ribs or vertebrochondral ribs. The 3 pairs of ribs, that is 8th, 9th and 10th, do not directly articulate with the sternum. Rather, it joins the 7th pair of the ribs and hence are called as false ribs because ribs generally articulate with both the thoracic vertebrae as well as the sternum. But these ribs do not articulate with the sternum directly and hence are called as false ribs. The floating ribs, the 11th and the 12th pair of ribs are called as floating ribs because one end of the rib is attached to the vertebral column and the other end is free. The floating ribs play an important role to protect the kidneys. So that is it guys. I hope you would have understood. If that is the case, please hit the like button. You can also share the video with your friends and subscribe to the channel too. See you in the next video. Till then, take a very good care of yourself and God bless all of you.